let's impact some today. I think we're gonna do a great job.
How long are you going to allow fear to dictate your life? Now, I want to talk about fear for this video because, to be honest and transparent, fear has had a hold over my life for so long. There's a lot of different types of fear, whether it be fear of the unknown, fear of danger, fear of success, fear of failure, whatever it might be. Fear could play one of those covert roles in our lives that will limit us from the potential that we truly have within us. Now, to first identify how fear limits our potential, let's talk about what fear is. Fear is a signal sent to the body to let us know that something is wrong. Usually the hair on the back of our neck stand up, or our heart rate increases. We start to sweat in our hands, and we have a little bit of a higher heart rate because we're more alert to our surroundings. Well, fear is just a receptor to the body to let it know that it needs to operate at a heightened sense of awareness in order to prepare itself for what is about to happen. So you might have been familiar with that feeling, whether you have tried something that you've never done before, whether you've been in a situation, fortunately or unfortunately, that required you to operate at your highest level. You probably felt a degree of fear, which probably manifested itself in the form of anxiety. And here's the other trick, also in the form of excitement. See, the difference between anxiety and excitement is very, very slim. It's a very fine line. And a lot of times it could kind of manifest itself the same in the body. Now, the reason fear is so important to us is it was a way of survival back in the day. If you think of the things that we're afraid of, it's really the amygdala in the brain keeping us alive and trying to protect us from things that would kill us. The problem is we've developed as humans more technologically than we have biologically. So the fear of a saber-toothed tiger is the same as the fear of meeting a deadline at work. The fear of being excommunicated from the village and dying of starvation is the same fear that we have in public speaking in terms of standing in front of others. The fear of being rejected and facing the guillotine is the same fear that we feel by our post going live and nobody actually liking it. All that to say is that a lot of the fear that we feel are primitive responses to new age and modern stimuli. Because of this, we are allowing those modern stimuli to impact us and limit us from really operating at our fullest potential. When fear limits our behavior, when fear limits our action, it in essence has control over us and stops us from doing the things that we know we truly can do. With that being said, the types of fear, whether it be fear of failure, fear of public speaking, fear of what others might think of you, fear of success because you have to maintain what you have accomplished, all of that is not a fear of actual death or danger. So by entertaining it, we're really kind of just doing ourselves a disservice by letting that fear stop us from what we want to do. For example, I've stopped doing these videos for so long because of fear of what people might think, my articulation, my vocabulary, the way I deliver, if anyone will get value from this. I waited so long to start doing these videos that come out every week because I was afraid of what you, the folks watching this, might think. I hope this provides value. And if it does, I really would like the like, the subscribe, and even a comment to let me know that I'm doing a good job. So I could probably have a little bit less fear as I record this, because if I'm being honest and transparent, I'm still feeling some fear doing this right now. And that brings me to my last point, overcoming fear. At the end of the day, when we identify the difference between simply just being afraid or being in danger, we can lean into more of those things that we're afraid of that won't hurt us. Sure, standing on top of a building might be fearful because jumping off of it will cause bodily harm. But the reality is, we're not in danger by standing in front of a group of people giving a presentation. We're not in danger by starting that business, starting that podcast, starting that show, starting that blog. And we're not in danger by posting that YouTube video or that Instagram post or TikTok video. The reality is, we are allowing ourselves to be limited from a primitive fear that is not used to the modern world in which we live. When we can kind of clear the mechanism, identify the true danger, avoid that danger, but also lean into some of the things that make us fearful, I think we get better at those things. At one time, I was afraid to be on air as a meteorologist. Now I do it every day as a job. At one time, I was afraid to run my podcast. Now I do it every week religiously. A lot of times, the things that we start off fearing just needs to be worked out a little bit. And we need to train our bodies to recognize that there is no true danger in the nature in what we are doing. And once that is recognized, we can get better at said activity and the fear will diminish. Now, I don't know if the fear will ever go away for those that are afraid of public speaking, those that are afraid of speaking in crowds. I still feel the heightened sense of awareness. I still feel the increased heart rate. The hair on the back of my neck still stands up before an event. And I also do get a little sweaty in my palms. But the reality is changing the way I view that feeling. No longer do I look at it as nervousness, fearness, or anxiety. I look at it more in the way of excitement. Because as I mentioned before, there's a very fine line between the two. So the question for you is, are you fearful of life or are you excited for life? And are you letting that fear or excitement limit the full potential that you have within you? Lean into that feeling, reframe that feeling into excitement, and use it as a springboard to start taking action towards your goals and living the life you know you deserve. Because I'm doing that now with this YouTube video, and I want you all watching to do the same. Go out there and be a modern man.